I think having a restaurant is like a play or like concert, and
Yes.
I'm the director.
Direct.
Like the idea is that you gotta understand at least to be a director, even if it's a film director, how to use the camera, how to be an actor, how to do makeup. Like when you study film direction, you have to do a stage. Like for you to get the degree, you study to be film director, but then you have to make stages for
Yeah.
years, working on the camera, working on sound, working on edition, working in makeup,
Yeah.
working in like art design. Because when you're directing, you have to be able to not necessarily do everything, but to set a clear vision for every department.
Yes.
So then when you're working in a fine dining restaurant, your responsibility as a chef owner is to understand each department.
Yeah.
So then I dedicate the one that I have the weakest knowledge is the drink side. Because I've been a chef for 20 years, and then back then it was like, I don't know, like when we opened it was like 15 years. So I was a chef for 15 years, but I never worked in the drinks side of things.
Yeah.
So then I dedicate a lot of my time going to, like when I moved to this country, 2 or 3 years before we opened the restaurant, to go to wine fairs, like not only in London but also in France and in Austria and in Vienna, in Georgia, like going and visit Georgia, that is like where the wine has born like 7,000 years ago.
Yeah.
So then go there, see the source, understanding wine.
Yeah.
Like why? Like the question is like why wine?
Yeah.
Because for me, I really like to ask why, and that's a very important thing, because otherwise, if you don't understand it, you can't. Like if you don't understand the game, you can't change the game. And that is the thing.
Go more into that. If you can't understand the game, you can't change the game.
Exactly.
Yeah, go
we
swim deeper into that.
The thing is that we want to do innovation. We want to do and we want to have an innovative restaurant. We don't want to have a formulated fine dining restaurant. And that's the idea of this place. Like that's the idea of this of Call since the beginning was, I want to create something that just keeps on growing and creates a trend. Like I want to be in the forefront of innovative cuisine in the world. I also wanted to promote the meaning of quality of Mexican culture and to understand British ingredients, but I also wanted to do something new. But for you to be able to do something new, you gotta understand what you're doing. And you can't be blindsided by one department. And that is what happened all my life. Like someone will bring me a glass of wine, I'll be like, all right. I get the expensive one or I get the cheap one. I don't know. Like
Gets me drunk.
It's just very complicated to read and understand why people do wine and why French wines are so popular and like what's going on,
Yeah.
And so then I had to, like, I really dedicate myself a good couple of years just focus on wine and drinks.
Firstly, what were some of the surprising lessons that you took from learning drinks? And actually, were there any lessons you applied from learning about drinks to food? Because we'll get it all into the stage, but one of my big things in life, and like creativity is like everything I do, and that's why we'll get back into the sort of director stuff, but I believe you learn at the cross section of things.
Yeah.
So we'll get into like your maths past and then applying to restaurants. But was there anything you took from drinks that made your food better or different? Like what were some of the things you picked up?
1,000%. There are different things. There are different sizes of drinks. Like obviously there are the drinks that you source, like the wine and the spirits. There are low ABV drinks, like slightly alcoholic drinks that we source, like kombuchas and kefirs and sparkling. Like sparkling low ABV wines for people that don't drink as much alcohol. So that's one side of things. Then you have the actual wine, that is a whole world of wine that we also source. So it's more about understanding the region and understanding the soil. that is very important. The soil, and for us, when we source wine, we focus a lot in low intervention in terms of not for the wine to be vinegary or funky or anything, but it's more to people to not add chemicals. Because I don't want to import ingredients from Mexico. So I don't want to use avocados or limes or lemons, the things that have been sprayed. I've been in markets around the world, and you can see that they get the fruits unripe, like completely rock hard green, and then they spray a chemical in the floor, and then they change color. And then you can see how they turn bright red, or turn yellow, and then that allows them to stay to hold the whole trip until they are here in Europe, and then that goes down to also when they are growing these ingredients. When you go to Mexico and you see where they're growing the avocados in Michoacan, they spray. They spray chemicals with planes, and there's a documentary about it. And the thing is that those chemicals go to schools and they just spray everything. But then it makes the avocado, before it grows, to already have a different structure for it to hold better the whole journey. Because if you go to Oaxaca, to little town, and then you pick an avocado from the tree, it's already kind of black, and that's that's natural. You're not gonna have perfection from nature, because they are not here for us. Nature is not here for us, to please us in terms of okay, this is gonna be perfect for the humans, and that's the same with wine. We want to work with people that care about nature, and they work biodynamically, and they don't add a lot of chemicals to the bottles or to the wine or to the plants. So that's the other side of things. And then the other side of drinks is the spirits. So we have spirits that are coming from Mexico, and mezcal is a big part of it. Mm-hmm. And with mezcal, I also been learning that it also doesn't have any chemicals. It's also chemical free, and it's also additive free. They don't add any sugar, they don't add anything, and it's coming from a natural plant. So then when you drink mezcal, you're actually drinking something natural with natural sugars. That is very important. So that makes it the healthiest drink in the world. You drink mezcal.
10 of them then.
Yeah, I mean, we can have one.
Yeah.
When you finish your coffee. The thing is that I realize more and more drinking more and more mezcal that it actually doesn't really make you feel bad or angry or
tequila.
or sick.
I was just in France, and we met this group, and they were saying that tequila is out of all the booze you can drink, tequila and she was saying tequila is doesn't give you the down.
Yes, exactly.
I'm assuming mezcal is another level of that.
Exactly.
It doesn't make you depressed, essentially.
No, exactly. It doesn't make you depressed, and it also doesn't give you a hangover.
Anxiety.
Like a hangover or anxiety or rage.
Rage.
Rage. It actually gives you.
Rage,
when you're drunk and you're oh. That doesn't happen.
If I have beers, I get sloppy, and I'm
right.
Whereas I just need a bit of mezcal.
Exactly. Mezcal brings you up. Into a way of joyful moment, and also it opens up conversation. It's really good for these kind of things. And tequila is a type of mezcal, technically.
Okay.
So tequila is a type of agave spirit. And but the problem, the thing about tequila is that tequila regulation, it only you can name tequila something as soon as it has, I don't remember, it is 49 or 51% agave. So then the rest of whatever you put on the tequila, it can be sugar, it can be sugarcane, it can be straight alcohol, it can be anything. So then tequila depends on which tequila is gonna be good or bad for you. Where mezcal is a little bit more controlled, and if you see that it's 100% agave, it's actually much better for you. But then in terms of what you were asking, sorry.
Oh, no,
it was,
this goes all over.
exactly.
Man,
So then we started making cocktails here.
Yeah.
And this place where we are sitting here used to be a bar, a cocktail bar, and I learned so much about how the bartenders will and the mixologists will mix flavors. That is a very, very, very different way of the way that we mix flavors in the kitchen. Because when you're mixing flavors in cocktails, even if you're doing a non-alcoholic cocktail as well, you're mixing liquids and densities and aromas together, and you work a lot with bitterness. So you work with bitterness and aroma, and the way that it's been balanced, it's a very, very interesting thing that I learn a lot, and I add to my food now. Like we do a lot of. It's not that we create our own perfumes or anything, but if you think about the mango sauce, if you get a mango and you blend it, it smells like mango. But then in the moment that you heat it up, it just loses the aroma. Mm-hmm. So you do the mango sauce, and then it's like, okay, well, it doesn't really smell like it smells like anything anymore. So it's interesting because if you will have this, like let's say mango aroma or floral notes from the mango, and you could add it at the end to a butternut squash puree, you will get the sensation of mango. So it's a very interesting thing to add aromas, even if it's like if you drink a bitter of the ones that they add to whatever Negroni or whatever it is, it's undrinkable. If you drink lime juice, just like that, it's undrinkable, but it's powerful.
Yes.
So then, and very aromatic. So doing really aromatic, powerful condiments is what I learned from the mixologists. And that is what we do for every single dish.
You apply it to your food now.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. I want to go back to what you said about the director and the drama.
Yeah.
I looked online. I think you hung out with a Mexican director at some point.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Alfonso Cuarón, and I have like Iñárritu as well, like Alejandro González Iñárritu.
You've got quite a few directors that What have the lessons you've taken from those directors producing films and movies that you applied to this wonderful experience?
Yeah, I mean, like I always love movies. Like I love.
So, what films have they done? Are they like Mexican sort of thrillers? Or?
I mean, a lot of like they made like amazing movies like Roma, Y tu mamá también. Gravity, Children of Men.
Children of Men.
Yeah, Children of Men.
Mate, yeah. So he did that film.
Yeah, Alfonso made Children of Men.
That is a sick film. That's one of the. That was
set in the UK.
That was the fucking pandemic before it was the pandemic.
Yeah, exactly.
He predicted COVID. Before.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh man, okay, I didn't realize that was him.
Yeah, that was Alfonso, sick. And Alejandro did. He did Birdman.
Yes, the drummer.
Yeah.
Oh, no, is it the drummer? Oh, no, it's when the geezer levitates, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like this guy that is making a play with Edward Norton as well. And,
yes.
He used to be like a superhero, and then in movies, and then he stops being a superhero to
it's Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton. Yeah,
he
exactly.
was Batman, wasn't he? Then his career plunged.
Exactly. So then that's the take on that. And he also did The Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio as well.
Yeah.
Like the one that he fights against the bear.
Yeah, that's a lot of rage in that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like they made loads of movies. They have like loads of Oscars and stuff like that.
So you've hung out with them. What have they taught you about creativity? What have they taught you about being a director of your own restaurant? Because I think it's such a beautiful way of putting it. And
yeah, I mean, like I literally haven't really speak with them about that. That is a good topic. I think we should speak more about that. We just hang out, but. All my life, I love movies, and I have a friend of mine that studied in the New York film school, as well. And he will tell me like what he'll learn and all that stuff when I was like 18. And at the end of the day, the idea is that when you're a film director, when you want to be a film director, you study film school and you study to be a film director.
Yeah.
But then after that, you have to make a stash. And like go basically working without pay, and learn from different areas. So you have to learn how to do the camera and how to do makeup and how to do costume design and how to do all these things. And for you to be able then to direct. And at the end of the day, I think directing is it's and as any creative job where you're on the front, but you're actually not doing it. Like the director is not using the camera, like he's not acting. You know, he has a vision of the final product. You know, and it's like Steve Jobs that he wanted to do the iPhone. Like he didn't create the iPhone himself, but he has engineers that know how to do it, and then they do it. You know, and I think you know, like there's this cross section of different disciplines where you have a vision.
Yeah.
You know, like you are the fashion designer, and then you have a vision, but then the materials and the way that it's put together, and people telling you no as well. Like people telling you like, oh, well, that material is too expensive. It's not going to sell. Like those shoes are not going to sell with that material or with that design. So then you have to do them. Either you do a premium, or you just sell a little bit, or because you need the business side of it. You know, like you cannot do that scene, man. You know, we can't do that scene. It's too expensive. It's like, okay, cool. So let's just, and then the director makes the decision. You know, like, am I going to put truffle in that dish? You know, like,
Mate,
you can't put.
Yeah, this is so interesting.
You know, or you know, like, and that is you working with an extension. Like, that doesn't work in every restaurant, but in a fine dining restaurant with a tasting menu.
Why doesn't it work in every restaurant?
Because there is a difference between a restaurant where you go to eat and a restaurant that you go to have an experience.
The drama.
Yeah, because it's a different thing.
What's the specific differences?
I think the restaurant that you go to eat, it is delicious, and you go and you order what you want. You know what you want. You have a great time. It's not about like, I think that like how great the time is, it just depends on you, you know, like, or who are you going with? Because at the end of the day, hospitality is for you to have fun. But the restaurant that you just go to eat, that is the goal. The goal is to eat. And what you eat is going to be incredible and meaningful. If you're talking about high quality, we're not talking about going to like, I don't know, like to whatever chicken shop.
Wimpy,
you know? Yeah, exactly. We're talking about la creme de la creme, you know, like the best restaurant, but it's a la carte, and you get a whole turbot, or you get like an amazing lobster dish, or an amazing steak, or whatever. It's great, it's amazing, but that's it. Where you go to a fine dining restaurant, you are going to someone's world, and they design the experience for you, and there's a script. You know, there is a script, there is a performance. So it's like when you go to a kaiseki restaurant in Kyoto. That
Kaiseki restaurant.
Kaiseki is like the beginning of fine dining. You know, like it's the very first tasting menu. Yeah.
I didn't even know
like
this.
Very old, like hundreds and hundreds
When
of
was the
years
first tasting
tradition.
menu?
I have no idea, but it is very old. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there are restaurants that are like 300 years old and stuff like that. And what they do is they give you a tasting menu, and every plate will be designed by a craft maker in the region, and then every dish will show you an ingredient, and it will show you a technique. They could put everything together on a bowl of rice and then just like smack the meat on top, and you have it, and you go to eat amazing meat and rice.
Yeah.
But what they did, it's an experience to elevate what the craft and to showcase their vision of what food can be excelled to. And that is what Kaiseki is start doing, and obviously then French like fine dining and stuff like that, to be like, okay, well, this is a dish that no one else can do.
Yes.
You know, and that is something that in the new world, let's say, now how I see it is as a performance. You know, you go to this restaurant and you suddenly sit down, and we're gonna serve you all. Like, we're gonna give you all the best that we can do.
Yes,
you know?
it's. I interviewed a guy the other week who had a restaurant, and funny enough, linking this back to the Birdman, right? Is he said when you go to a really great restaurant, you should, and so you feel it, you should enter if I'm putting these together, the way you say you should enter someone's your world, beautiful. But he says when everything is just, when that drama and that symphony is all dancing together, you feel like you should fucking levitate. You know what I mean? and I really believe, like with you know, on Friday when I was here, you know, they plonk that stuff, well, the myriad of different drinks, and you're eating the food, and you just, the buzz is coming, and you know, it is that experience. In terms of so actually there's another thing on this. There's a really good podcast I listen to called Founders. He interviews loads of success, like mainly like Steve Jobs and shit like that. But then he started doing this series all about directors. So he did Christopher Nolan, he did Steven Spielberg, he did who was the bloke who did some other geezer? But he was talking exactly what you're saying, is you learn everything. And it's actually, you're not in the kitchen, you're the one that's saying, this is where we're going, this is the scene. And actually, everyone may say, oh, that's impossible. You say, no, we're going to stay here till 12 o'clock tonight until it's done. I mean, it is possible. And it's that, I suppose you have to change from going from sort of Santiago the chef to Santiago the director, right?
Yes.
In terms of getting this whole vision to happen, what's been the hardest bit of getting what I experienced on Friday to happen?
I think the hardest thing to master is patience. You know,
I've got no patience at all, man.
Because you have to understand that this is a long game, you know, and there is two sides of things. One side is your own craft and your own like evolution as a chef, like to be like, okay, well, you're gonna learn how to cook, and you gotta do it for a long time, you know, and then when you finally open your restaurant, is to understand that that's just the beginning. You know, mostly if it's a restaurant like this one that is, as you said, like it goes beyond. You know, if it's a restaurant that you set a menu and a concept and that's it, then you don't have to move it too much. You know, because then it's like, okay, well, let's just change the garnish on this and that's it. But then if you are creating something that will have such a tremendous ambition as this place, to be like one of the best restaurants in the world. You gotta be patient. And then it's very, I have, as you said, I have the final say in terms of like until what time we stay, right? And like what time we stay, right? Working or shooting, you know, like at what time you stay until 12 or 11, or do you care about the people that work for you? To be enough to be patient and understanding of like, all right, we are here, we have this restaurant, we have this ambition, but let's go slowly, you know. And what I always like, I mean, I always put my team first, but also the most important thing is that when I open this restaurant, we have this beautiful building, like beautiful design, you know, like everything is just. We have the press, we have the concept, we have everything. We have the crockery, we have the team, but it's like you having a Ferrari, but you got to start driving it as a bicycle, you know, because like, and at the end of the day, I feel like I'm the driver, but the team is the engine, you know. So then if they are not at the level of what we want to do, it's not possible, you know, like it's basically not possible to drive faster, you know. So then I have the decision of how fast we drive, but also I got to learn as well. So then you have to understand as well, and that is the hardest thing. And the biggest lesson that I had when I opened this restaurant and in the last 5 years is that I understood that I didn't know everything. Like, and that I understood it really quickly. Like, I'm like, whoa, like when you look back on the dishes that you're doing a year after and the year before, I'm like, there's no way I'm doing that again. And then the year after is the same. It's like, oh my God, why am I, like, that's so embarrassing, you know? And then you keep this evolution, but also some sort of self-awareness of being like, oh my God, man, I wasn't ready. And I'm still not ready, and I'm still learning. And then you start to understand that you're on a journey of collective growth. You know, that you have to grow, you have the opportunity to grow with individuals that are adding to the table a lot by being patient and be like, okay, well, this is a long game. And the better that we do, and that's what I always tell the guys, is like, the better that we do what we do, the more that we're going to grow. And then when we finally do everything perfect, then I raise the bar, you know? And then you just keep going like that, you know?
There's a quote I love, and I have no patience at all. Like, and one thing I've learned is so it's like, it's by Tim Ferriss, which is slow is smooth.
Yeah.
Smooth is fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, sometimes the best advice you give doesn't mean you probably need to take it yourself.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so I'm like, let's fucking go. Like, let's keep going.
Yeah.
And one of my things on that is macro, patience, micro impatience.
Yeah.
So day to day, I'm trying to move as fast as I can with this, getting better and better.
Yeah.
But understanding this is a long game. Like, we've been doing this for 5 years, you know, and it's only now beginning.
Yeah.
And I love the idea of, like, you're the driver of the Ferrari, but you need to put the team's the petrol, and you can't go anywhere unless there's petrol in the car.
Yeah.
Is there an example of where have just gone like, and just and the kind of the coal car has kind of veered off into the bushes, or
always
specific examples?
I mean, like, I think I think mainly when you don't know about this, you know, like at the beginning.
There's no sat nav.
At the beginning, it was very complicated times. I mean, like, we opened in COVID in 2020 in October. And I felt like so much responsibility and pressure, because I was like, okay, well, finally, you know. And then that is where you get to understand where you sit, you know, because I think it is. So
when you say understand where you sit, what do you mean?
Where you sit, like how good we are.
Oh, okay,
you know, like,
versus other restaurants.
Yeah, exactly. Or like just how good you are in on yourself and like everything. I mean, like, at the end of the day, I mean, like, I never, there is a whole team here, you know. So then everyone wants to do something, and that they all believe on, but it takes a long time to have the right team as well, and they change, you know, like, everyone changed, I changed, everyone. So then I think when it goes a little bit out of track is where the team is not in the right place, because the thing is that it is this. As you said, like, the difference between a restaurant and a movie is that this is more like a play. You know, here you gotta perform every day, you know, and that's the thing, you know, like, it was really quickly when I understand that it's like, okay, well, let's just do 5 courses, you know, let's not do 10 courses, let's do the 5 courses, and it was, you know, like, people had to leave like for the curfew at like 10 p.m. And we had to wear masks, and we were open and closed, and I will go home like completely devastated, like not devastated, but like drained of like trying to control everything and everyone, and every detail of everything that I thought that it wasn't good enough. But it wasn't because of the team. It was because I didn't understand, as I said, where we sit or what can we do. And then I think the big work is to be able to be like, okay, well, I got to trust everyone. And my job is not to do everything and control everything. My job is to make sure that the communication is right, that people know what they're doing and where we're going, you know? So then that is where, when it's going off track, it's just basically because there's not enough communication or the right communication. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, you're working with a team, you know, like and you're working with people, you know, and that's important to understand. Like, we are not in a bistro with 4 people where you can just say like, okay, well, let's put more salt here, let's do this, mm-hmm. because there's just such an enormous amount of things that you can't control. That is more important to focus on communication and make people better, mm-hmm. and growth than controlling, you know.
Yeah, so I love that. So it's like the first sort of thing, because also world class is something I think people should aspire to be. Yeah. Not everyone, if you don't want to, but I think it's so you said sort of patience, kind of self-awareness and almost driving the car less like that, but like letting it kind of your hands release, so you're letting other people trust in team. What are other sort of principles in terms of that you've picked of trying to be world class, of being world class? You're one of the best restaurants in the world.
I think it's about enjoying beautiful things.
Enjoying beautiful things.
I mean, like, I want to do something beautiful, you know, like I want to do something better, but not because I have to, you know. And I think that is something that I've been realizing with the years, that I'm like, I'm not here because my job is for everything to be perfect and everything to be better. I just like it, you know, like, and I'm that kind of person that it's just like, if I sit down with a plate of food, I will question it, you know, and I will question myself, and I will look into the presentation, or I will looking at the flavor or whatever it is, and just like, I love making things a little bit better.
Yeah.
Because I just like, that is where I find my peace. You know, I find my peace by evolving.
Mate,
you know?
this is so good. So like the amount of, so sometimes people say like founders and entrepreneurs, they're like constantly, I've interviewed hundreds of these people, right?
Yeah.
And like they're constantly unhappy, like, you know, they're never satisfied. They're slacking me at just being like, we need to improve this, we need to improve this. And I'm like, and what you've just hit the nail on the head there, Santi, of like, no, what I've realized is the process of making things better, the relentless pursuit of better, beautiful things.
Yeah.
In that space between improvement and beautiful, people, founders and creatives find peace.
Yes.
And I totally agree with that. It's just that level of like,
and
you're
then like,
so focused on,
and just also like questioning, you know, like how can we, you know, how can we do this better? But it's not because I have to do it or I have the pressure of doing it, because at the beginning I felt that way. I felt that I felt that I had to deliver something new, or I have to deliver something better constantly. And that's draining, you know, like that's like, it's a lot of pressure to be in a position where you're like, everyone is expecting for me to do
was this
something.
When you opened the restaurant?
Yeah, when I opened the restaurant, exactly. So you're like, everyone is expecting for me to come out with stuff that are new and better all the time.
If you're a challenger brand that's absolutely killing it in D2C, but you're struggling to crack retail, then you've got to listen to this. Maybe you've got an Ocado listing, maybe you've got a Whole Foods listing, maybe you're absolutely killing it in Selfridges, maybe you're absolutely killing it in your farm shop and your indies. But my friends, making the leap, crossing El Chasm, crossing El Rubicon to grocery retail is not easy. It's the Champions League of FMCG. It's super hard. It means playing at a higher level, and that's where so many amazing brands sadly stumble. Look, retailers want stories backed by data, not dreams and a pretty pitch deck. And let's be real, supermarkets are not just going to magically make a space for you and your little brand. They need data. Something's got to go for you to get in, for you to get on shelf. And that is why I've got to tell you about North Star. They are the team that's helping purpose-led FMCG brands go from gut instinct dreams to unstoppable pitch decks that actually unlock retailers. North Star are not like another data company that force feed you data like foie gras, that act like a NASA space mission. It's super simple to use. Their team are amazing and they actually get the challenger mindset. North Star are your shortcut to smarter decisions, stronger pitches and investor confidence, all built specifically for challenger brands like yours. You don't need a massive sales team, you need North Star. Link in the show notes. Click that link and you'll be able to book a free demo with North Star. Highly recommend that, and thank me later.
How did you deal with that pressure? Like when you go home to your...
It was...
I want to get into... I saw a video of you, apparently you like eating ham in fucking Lab. Like, I want to get... Because we've talked about... It's joke, like, no, it's not joke, it's the same, but like... The kind of the adage of the restaurant is Mexican soul, British ingredients. I believe there's skin in the game, as in like you're committed, and there's fucking soul in the game. You eating packets of ham in Ladbroke Grove is soul in the game. Like, we got to make this work. And so I want to get into that, but like, what you know, how do you deal with that pressure when you're walking back? You've just opened. It's bloody COVID. And you're going back to Ladbroke Grove. Eating ham.
I mean,
well, maybe you meant when eating ham. But
well, the thing is that there has been a process to open this restaurant, and it's been a process of creating something new. because we are not doing traditional Mexican recipes.
Yes.
I'm not this executive chef that comes here and puts a menu together, and that's it. You know, like this concept is being developed from scratch to basically be something new. But the process of creating something like that is now natural for us, it was painful, you know, and it was very difficult because when I moved here, I was like, okay, I want to do Mexican inspired food with British ingredients, that it doesn't feel like too traditional, that it works together and it looks iconic and beautiful, and it's pretty fine, like it's pretty refined, to create something so unique that will become world class. That is something that you can write down, but then in the moment that you are in the field doing it, it's frustrating because it's like, okay, I just actually don't know how to do that. Like, I never lived here before. I didn't understand anything about wild British food, and I understood Mexican traditional food, but then I wanted to create it without Mexican ingredients, and I thought that it would work, but I didn't have a direction. And for a year, I was, and I was also 27 years old.
So young, yeah.
So then when I finally got the investor, like work with my business partners and the investment, we rent a house, and I moved from Kidbrook to East Acton, and we had this house, and I was developing the recipes, but they didn't taste good. And that was so frustrating. I was doing 14 dishes a week.
It's so interesting what you're saying there, because it's like sometimes the map is not the terrain,
Yeah.
or like this in terms of movies, the script is not the reality. So you may have like Steven Spielberg may have an idea of what fucking Yoda looks like, but in reality, it's like, how do you get a little, you know, well, that's a shit example, but you know what I'm saying. But so, is there a specific example of, like a dish that on the script you had this vision of Mexican soul, British ingredients? You're in this flat in Acton.
Yeah.
It's late at night and it's just not working. Like,
I mean, there's so many things. I mean, like there is this razor clam toast with beans and razor clams that it sounds really well, like really good. So it was a sourdough bread toasted with scallop emulsion, like a fudge made with scallops that it was like in the toast, and then razor clams. And beans. So it was like a bean and scallop like paste, like fudge.
Yeah.
And then the razor clams on top, and rocks on fire. And that is a dish that it sounds good, and it tasted good, but it wasn't right. It didn't look right. I want the food. I don't know if you've seen the food of Col, but it's like, it's very polished.
Yeah,
it's like very iconic.
Yeah.
But I didn't know.
It's dramatic.
Yeah, exactly. But I didn't know how to do that, and it wasn't right, and it wasn't. I mean, like we did, like I was saying, we were doing 18 recipes every weekend, and then we try it, and then everyone would say that it was good. No one will be like, oh, this is shit, or this is not good. But I knew that it wasn't good enough.
That's when the director comes in.
I knew that it wasn't good enough, but then it's like, no one is saying to you, like, we were already opening the restaurant anyway. In a year's time, because it takes a long time to get a site and everything. But in my gut, I felt that what I was doing wasn't good enough. It was good for a bistro.
What were the changes you made to just take it to that next level?
So that's the thing. Like, it was really hard because we did like 120 recipes in the year, and then we only choose 5. I only thought that 5 of those recipes were good enough to open this restaurant, and then when we open, we have some good reviews and everything, I will obviously never use those recipes again, like most of them, like now.
What were the recipes?
I mean, like, it was like a beetroot tostada with the... Oh, actually, it was lamb leg, like sear lamb leg, that it was dressed with fermented gooseberries and walnut oil, and then an emulsion of chilies around it with a tostada on top. Yeah, I mean, like, there was, I mean, like, it was good food. But then we just choose 5 recipes, right? And then after a month, 2 months, I was like, okay, well, now I need to make more recipes. But then now I don't have a year to make 120 recipes and choose 5. I have 2 weeks.
So what did you do?
So that's the thing, right? So that what did you do? You know, and I think one of the interesting things when I was creating the recipes in this house, I will wake up in the middle of the night and like write things in the board, like ideas and ideas and ideas. And I will do all these recipes. And when I knew that they were not good enough, you question yourself. Like, are you actually not good? You know, and are you not good enough? Or are the recipes not good enough? You know, so then you don't know who to blame. The reality is that I wasn't good enough. But it's very difficult to accept that. Very difficult to accept that. Because good enough is really relative. Good enough for what? But anyways, the thing is that when I was here, then I was like, oh my God, like what are we gonna do? And then I did it, you know, like I did recipes slowly, and I evolved the menu, but it was hard. It was really, really hard. And then suddenly I was in a position where I was like, oh my God, like what's the goal of all this? You know, like why am I going to work? You know, if I'm working all these hours, I'm stressed. I feel that I can't, that I want to deliver something that I'm not sure if I can. And I have all these people that believe in me. What do you like? You know, and I think that is one of the questions that were in my head, like so much, because for so long, my dream was to open this restaurant. So that's what I like. I like to have a restaurant one day. That's what my goal was. But then when you suddenly open and you see how hard it is to actually work at this level, you realize like, okay, well, you need to find out what you like, you know, and I...
Talk to me more about finding out what you like, as in...
What do you actually like? You know, like when
In terms of the food, or like...
In terms of like, in general of your job.
So what do you like?
You know, like, yeah, so then I realized that what I like is to create, you know, and I was thinking like, okay, well, if I like what I create, what are I gonna do? You know, how are we gonna create stuff? You know, and then that is one of the things that creators in this industry, as like chefs, struggle as well the most, and artists in general. How are you gonna come out with an idea if you're working 100 plus hours, or like 80 hours, or you're under so much stress, and you know, you gotta get out of it. And then you gotta have a clear mind, you know, and you have to be really good in your mind.
So what do you do to get that clear mind now? I
mean, like, I think it's just accepting the fact. You know, like I spoke with this guy that is a chef from Spain. His name is Andoni Luis Aduriz, from a restaurant called Mugaritz, where I work for a couple of years. I think it's the most creative restaurant in the world. And he came to eat and he loved it. And he was like, man, I'm so proud of you. It's amazing. And I went to the table and I sat there and I whispered to his ear, you know, I was like, man, like, I don't know if I can do this, you know, I don't know if I can keep creating. What do you do when you run out of ideas or when you run out of creativity? And he's like, if you're truly creative, ideas come to you naturally.
Yeah, so I write like as much as I started writing before I did this.
Yeah.
I write every single day, and I like put it in a newsletter, and it's, I think creativity is a resource that the more you do, the more you get. I really believe that. Like, I don't believe you run out of ideas. I think you may run out of your own like taste or your own style. That may change, but like in terms of actual ideas, I believe there's infinite.
Yeah.
What does So first question is, what's your definition of creativity?
Yeah.
And then second question, what does it feel like? So I watched that Heston Blumenthal documentary and he says creativity, and this resonates with me at least, is you're a kid in a sweetie shop, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, you know, a little toddler, like, and then suddenly the fucking clouds open, and every single sweet you've ever dreamed of is just like, and you're just trying to catch all these ideas.
Yeah.
I really like, that's what I feel like when I'm in the creative process.
Yeah.
It's just like, and you're just trying to make sense of it. But yeah, I'd love to know, what's your definition of creativity first? And then what does it feel like when you're in that state of creating these dishes? Because they are so just at the frontier.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, just to finish that, what he said to me is that he said that if you're truly creative, ideas will come to you. You just need to admit that and enjoy it. And then, and that is something that changed my life.
Admit it and enjoy it.
Yeah. That is something that changed my mind, because I was not confident 100% about that, you know, because I was like so in the middle of so many things that I needed to achieve in order to keep this restaurant alive, that I forgot about how like a truly there's some sort of truly creation of any one of us, you know, that you just make for fun, as you said, you know, like it's and it's important to enjoy it, you know, like and the thing is that if you don't enjoy your job or your role or whatever is happening, you can't be creative, you know. And it is important to enjoy it, you know. And I think in that moment, the next day, I woke up in the morning and I was like, you know what? I want to go to work so I can create something. And that is something that it's a mindset that changed my life, because, I mean, yes, there is a lot of things that you need to organize, lots of people that you need to work with, and a lot of problems of like a daily basis of a restaurant. But that's fine. I think the most important thing for me is to be in the right mindset to enjoy what I really like. That is just bringing something to the world. You know, like just like it can be, there's little things. You know, like it can be a texture or a flavor or a presentation or a joke. You know, like at the end of the day, it doesn't have to be creativity only apply into creation of art. You know, and when you don't want to do art, it's fine. You can take a break. But that doesn't mean that you don't apply creativity for your daily life. Like, what are you going to wear? Like, what are we going to change on this? We're going to change on that. What are you going to say to this person? That's creativity. And the moment that you acknowledge that, it makes your life, it makes you to feel more creative.
Oh,
you know?
mate, there's so what you're saying speaks to me deeply. Like, I interviewed a guy the other week called Sir John Hegarty. He's like he founded BBH. He's kind of the godfather of advertising, and his whole thing is all about creativity, and that's kind of what he says. Is he goes, we should all have a creative philosophy, and it's not just at work. It's you know, do we go into the kitchen and just pick a couple of ingredients as at home? Is it like how you do a workout in the gym? Is it going in and like reversing the order? Is it, you know, when you get off, instead of taking what City Mapper says to work, you go the other way? And he goes, when you do all these things and 24 hours a day, you're trying to be creative in everything you do. Yeah. It's a beautiful way to live your life.
It's a muscle.
It's a muscle, exactly.
Creativity is a muscle that you work out.
Yes.
Like if you do arm in the gym, you not necessarily lifting stuff in your daily life. But then suddenly when you're going to lift something, you lift it.
Yes.
Easily.
Yes.
And you don't realize how strong you get. And that is something with creativity that is very important to, like, as you said, in your daily life, to use it, because you cannot be creating dishes 24 hours a day, you know, but you do your work in the side, you know, of like little things, and putting yourself in the right mindset, and have small wins. Say, oh well, that was creative. you know, or like, oh yeah, so that's, and then suddenly when you are with an ingredient, or you are in a meeting of creativity for the menu, etc., you will leave that. It will be like no difficult at all, you know. So that is something that is important. You have to train it, but I guess as well, creativity for me is, I mean, like, there is different sides of creativity, but in terms of, you have the creativity that comes as a result of what you know. You know, like everything that you know, everything that you train, and you put it together in a way that makes sense for you. And that is unique for you, right? So that's one side of creativity. And that creativity needs a lot of training. It needs a lot of knowledge for you to be able to do something that no one else can. So you have to have your own experiences, experience your own things, travel.
What are some of the experiences? Because I know you travelled 27 countries.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
did the stuff with René Redzepi, which we'll get onto.
Yeah.
But I was reading your stuff. I was like, dude, you're 27 and you've had like, what, 27 countries. Like,
Yeah.
the other thing I believe about creativity is different inputs equals different outputs.
Yeah.
So if you've got if 5 people go to the same country and they come back with dishes, they'll probably look quite similar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But if they put their personality in it, it's slightly different.
Yeah.
But if you've been to like 27 and there's another restaurant down the road who's been to 2, like you've got a real rich texture. Like, what's some of the less inputs out of that experience of those 27 countries? What are some of the things you picked up?
I think, well, just to, yes. So then you have to experience things, right? And you have to train. You have to work with people that are really good, much better than you could imagine you will ever be. And that is something as well that is very important, even if you don't understand what they're doing, to like be close to them.
Who was that person?
Like with Noma, like working at Noma or working in Mugaritz I work in some of the best restaurants in the world first before traveling.
What was tell me about the genius at Noma. What did you learn there?
René, the thing is that working there really changed my life, because I could really understand more how René will think more than the recipes. Like when you work for chefs and in restaurants, the only thing that you have access to is the recipes. And yes, you can see a pattern and you can learn the recipes, but you don't learn the why those recipes exist. And traveling with René, because I organized the Noma Mexico event, made me understand the vision and the meaning of quality. Because I think one of the most difficult things when you do your own thing, even if you're a chef or you're an artist, it's when you create your own style, it's to know what is good. Like that for me has been a journey of years. Like probably like I still kind of trying to figure it out. But for the first 10 years, I was just like, I just don't know what is good. Like I don't know what is good. It's like you're blind. Like you're trying things blindfolded. You don't understand the difference between a good wine pairing and a bad wine pairing. You don't understand the difference between a good dish and a bad dish, and a good idea and a bad idea. And also to be critical to yourself. Like how, if you don't know what is good and what is not good. So then I dedicate 15 years of my life, or 12 years of my life, to stay away from what I think that it was bad. You know, because I wasn't able to understand what was good, because it's just hard, you know, how can you tell? And then with René, I understood that his philosophy is all about the quality of craft. So if you do your craft right, you will have a result that is good already. You know, you got to do the legwork of doing things from scratch. Mm-hmm. And that was really incredible. And obviously, that quality is not something overly luxurious, like putting gold sheets on top of the steak or anything, or caviar and truffle and everything. It's more about things that are made with respect, and they have a story, a backstory, and an element of human interaction to create them. And that was really incredible. And I also like traveling around the world as well. Like, and I said to the young kids as well that they work here, younger, that you gotta try a lot of food to find out what you like. Because one of the things is what your journalists like, or what the chefs like, or what your guests like, or what. But then what is right and what is wrong, or what is good and what is bad. But then what is good for you, what you like. And that is a very, very also more complicated journey as well, because you also have to find the middle ground between what you like and what you want to represent, but also what people like. So then that is one thing. And then the other way of creativity that I think is, so one thing is that everything that you know and your experience, put it together in your own interpretation.
Yep.
If you make a diary,
Yeah.
and you write down absolutely every single piece of information that you learn in your life, and you put it in AI, they will create things for you like that.
So have you done that?
No, I haven't done that. But I guess that's because it's just like, it makes sense. It makes sense if you mix these two things to do something. It's like this guy worked in the steakhouse and he worked in the beach. So he might do grilled fish. Yeah. It makes sense.
Yeah.
There's another type of creativity that doesn't make any sense.
Which is?
That is true creation. And for me, that is the most fascinating way of creating. That I've been reading this book, The Artist's Way. I don't know if you know it.
Yeah.
Exactly. So then that is a philosophy that I've been having in the last year, that where I created, I think, one of the best things I ever create.
Which is?
I think just like the current menu that we do this year, like there was a lot of things that are quite unique. Like, for example, like this guacamole dish that is made with hemp seeds and courgette and onions, and they are blended into an ice cream, and then underneath you have crisps of corn, and then finish it with sunflower, the heart of the sunflower that is cooked like an artichoke, and then everything is dressed with like a caviar sauce that looks like a sunflower with petals and everything, and well, I think that truly new ideas, or that what is called inspiration, comes when you are in the right frequency with the universe.
Mate.
And that you don't take, basically, I don't take credit for those ideas. I just receive and literally just translate.
You're a conduit.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you read The War of Art? There's 2 books you need to read.
Yes, I have it.
Stephen Pressfield.
Yes, I have it.
Rick Rubin, the producer.
Yes.
Who did Adele, Beastie Boys, Jay-Z.
Yeah.
He's got a book called. I gave this book to John Hegarty.
Yeah.
The Creative Being.
I haven't seen that. I haven't watched it.
Unbelievable. He basically says creativity is this like, like on a radio, it's like.
Yeah.
And then you plug in
frequency.
and it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He goes,
you listen.
All you're doing is you're just basically going. And the ideas come to you.
Just go.
And so is that the true creativity when you're in tune?
I think, and that is what is called flow. How
do you access that?
So the way that you access that is, I guess, also like, I think one of the most important things, and for you to be able to access that, is to develop your intuition.
Yeah.
And have an intuitive way of working. Because if you are too technical, it's very complicated to access to that, because you have an idea already that is set in stone, and you write it down, and it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna do this.
That's why I don't have questions now. So
Yeah.
before I used to do these interviews, and I used to have like a thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need to ask this, and it's
Yeah.
just like I'm not. Whereas now, like I just
Yeah.
let it just
It
be.
flows.
The curiosity's in the room.
Yeah,
I know
exactly.
it sounds quite ethereal.
No,
but
no, no,
I'm
it's
into,
true.
I'm into these things.
Yeah, it's
right?
true.
Like,
It's true. Yeah.
Whereas before, it was like I was holding the Ferrari like this.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was
It's like an actor that only say the what is in the script.
Yes.
That is limiting.
Yes. Exactly.
You know, so then that is something that is important.
Wow.
And also to be in the right mindset. Again, like you have to be okay in your head. That is hard, no, for all of us, I guess, in this like
with
stressful life, you know.
Yeah, so
but
I think-
meditation. I mean, like I do a lot of meditation.
Yeah, same.
Meditation walks, exercise, eat healthy, and just.
What
and
sort
just,
of exercise do you do?
I just go to the gym.
Gym,
yeah,
nice.
yeah. I go to the gym and swim.
Yeah.
Bike every day, and I also like just I guess also like put yourself in moments. There is two side of things, like putting yourself in moments where you are just by yourself, like without any like phone or
Solitude.
distraction.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And I like train rides. So just like get in the train and just go somewhere without.
Do you
like,
know
without a destination, just like train, and then suddenly it's like boom, and then I start like writing things out.
So Rick Rubin says distraction is not procrastination.
Yeah.
So essentially, he says his thing is to go on a drive.
Yeah.
Or a train.
Yeah.
And he goes, you're basically distracting yourself, and then because do you know Ian McGilchrist, the left brain, right brain.
Yeah.
And basically,
Right.
left brain's all the analytical shit.
Yeah.
And then the right brain's where all the ideas
Yes.
and the
Yeah,
feelings
yeah.
and your intuition come from.
Yeah.
And I think we want to. So much of life, especially today, is left brain.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like, follow these rules,
Yes.
these instructions.
Yeah.
This is the blueprint.
Yeah.
This is the handbook. Boom,
Yeah.
boom, 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 boom. And we need to somehow shut that down to let that right brain almost
gotta-
be the antenna to ideas.
You're gonna have both, and it's the best way that you can do it is when you combine them. Do some work, and then go for a walk.
Yes.
You know, or do some work, then go on a train. You know, it's very important because I mean, like there is the Quentin Tarantino that he said, I don't know in which interview, but he was saying that one of his techniques to when he was writing, when he writes, I think it was like Inglourious Basterds, but it was like he writes for like
I
hours,
think I've heard this.
and then
Yeah.
he goes in the swimming pool.
Yes. And the ideas come in.
And but like he rides like 2-3 hours, and then he stops and goes swimming pool for like 4 hours with doing nothing, like literally just there. And then he doesn't have to think about the script, but then because it's so fresh, it just starts like some things that he haven't really thought about.
Yeah.
They come in, or nothing comes in, but it's just
Mate,
like
yeah.
you know. So then doing some work and going, but like what I'm saying about doing some work is, if you're working on a dish, or you're working on an idea and you're writing it down, or you're doing it with your hands, it is important because that is grounded already, like you're doing it. But then to add into it a different spin-off or like a different thing, you got to balance that with this, you know, as you say, this frequency situation, you know. And when you can have both at the same time is the best. And it's when you are in the kitchen with ingredients, and then you just intuitively mixing flavors, you know, because what
What I
Yeah.
like about what you're saying though is you have to do all the reps outside,
Yeah.
so that when you come to the kitchen,
Yeah.
it just.
Yeah, exactly.
And Tarantino's got. I use this. You know, Ashley Palmer Watts, Devonshire, did Fat
Yes,
Guy.
yeah, of course, yeah.
He's brilliant. I use this quote, funny enough, about Tarantino, and he says, "Your pen
Yeah,
is the antenna to God,
yeah,
the creative God." And
Yeah.
I love that. And I think whether it's like a typewriter or a knife or an ingredient, it's the same sort of thing.
yeah.
One thing I'd love to ask you about is maths.
Yeah.
And there's a great. Have you read much about Nassim Taleb?
No.
Amazing books.
Yeah.
But he's basically a mathematician. He applies like maths to creativity and like
Right.
problem solving and
Yeah.
stuff. Because the other definition in terms of like beauty, the truth, you know, I think another definition of creativity is it's got to solve a problem.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think maths is a really good lens. But basically what he says is maths is, in his eyes, and he's got like 6 books, Fooled by Randomness, Black Swan, Anti-Fragile. They're like a collection of really good books. And he says maths to me is a metaphor, and you can use maths as a metaphor to sort of understand kind of the follies of human beings. So one of his things is 10 times 1 is not the same as 1 times 10.
Yeah.
And what he means by that, or like another example of that would be, you know, say you get hit by a car 100 times at 1 mile per hour, nothing happens.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
If you get hit by a car once at 100 miles per hour, game over. And he uses maths as a really wonderful way to explore like humans, the kind of human perception, exactly. And then I think the other one he says is, you know, a 75% fat-free burger in a consumer's mind is not the same as a 25% fat burger. You know, and it's a beautiful book. You were going to wanted to be a mathematician. What have you learned about maths that you apply to problem solving and creativity? What's that? You're obviously steeped in that.
There's 2 sides of things. Like, there's actually a book that I just finished that is called Art and Fear.
Art and Fear,
and it's such a small, like,
they're the best, man.
It's amazing.
They're like an espresso shot.
Yeah, it's amazing. I finished it like straight away, and that one is a very interesting. That it's
what's it called?
Art and Fear.
Yeah, okay, sweet.
And it's an interesting book because that's one of the things that it says is that when you have this genuine idea, it's just at the very beginning. And that is the only moment where you have this inspirational, like, kind of eureka moment. The rest of the journey, and the 80% of it, is the work that you have to do to deliver that. And all the creative decisions that are going to happen after that first idea are going to be not new ideas, are going to be ideas to solve problems, to make that idea tangible, you know. And I think that goes into maths and problem solving.
How so?
Because
I was really bad at maths.
Yeah, no,
I just like picked up these.
I was really good at maths, and I always have A in maths, and I was in the math competitions and everything, and because.
So basically, what you're saying, so you get the idea, applying this math to creativity, you get this idea, right? It's like almost like a seed. Then actually getting that to blossom into a flower, that's where the work starts.
Yeah, and that is where the work, like the 80% or 90% of the work of creativity also gets applied, but to problem solving and like make that idea possible. You know, like I want to do a guacamole with hemp seeds that looks like a flower. And you dry it and you draw it and everything. And then it's like, can we have enough can we have enough sunflowers? You know, so then we need to reach out to the farm. It's like, okay, well, we're gonna do this dish and we need sunflowers, so we need a field and stuff like that. So then it's, oh wait, how can we do it? How many we need? And then so then all the like, it's like Harry Potter. You're like, and the J.K. Rowling, like one of the things that she had, like she was like late for her train, whatever, like, or her train was late, you know, like there in Scotland, and she was like, she had an idea of boy is magician and he doesn't know about it, and that was the idea, you know, like, and that is what made the whole franchise of Harry Potter. Then he needs to write it down. She needs to sit down in the coffee shop and be like, okay, well, there's a boy that is a magician that doesn't know that he's a magician. And that's the plot. Then she needs to write it down. Okay, so what's the name of this magician? Where do they live? You know, like all this stuff. So that is the creativity that like grows, as you said, that can put water on that sieve.
Wow.
You know, like, but because you apply 90% of your creativity on that, on developing the story, you know, on developing the dish, on making sure that it works, on the marketing
How's that like
and
maths?
stuff like that.
Because again, I'm like,
So yeah, so then the thing is that
past key stage
maths-
2, mate.
no, but maths is about problem solving. It's not about remembering formulas or being good at numbers. It's not about like
It's not arithmetic.
being really quick of like, okay, what is like 3 times 5 or whatever. Like, it's not about that. It's more, when I will go to a competition, they will give me 3 or 4 questions.
So you were doing maths competition?
Yeah, I was in the Olympics of maths. Yeah,
That's so sick.
Yeah, I got like some medals and stuff. And
Really?
Yeah. So then I will go. I
You
was
working hard at maths as well?
Huh?
Or was this, so like,
Yeah, you go.
but as
and
in, would you train for it?
Yeah. It's like the movie 21. You know, like you go with like a special teacher that is training you for your competition. It's like, imagine that.
How old were you at this point?
14.
14.
Yeah.
Sick.
And then I will go and travel around Mexico to go to these competitions with the team of my state. So I was representing my state in this competition, like national competitions. And but then they will give you 4 questions. But the question doesn't necessarily have only one answer. It doesn't have a multiple answer, and it doesn't like. And they will give you 4 or 5 hours to answer those 3 or 4 questions, and you gotta think. And you can. And the most amazing thing about maths, and the way that I will approach it, is by common sense. So you need to have a very, very like a mind, or like a way and some sort of finding joy on solving problems and looking into every single possibility on how can this be solved, you know. And problem solving doesn't have only one route, and that is the math brain, the mathematician brain, because the mathematician thinks in all the possibilities, and then even if it's not being formulated, so then you can create avenues, you can create results, you can create processes that doesn't exist. And then some of the mathematicians that are really well known, they create problems that they have no solution, but they create the problem. You know, it's about creating. You know, it's about creativity. It's about creating.
Yes.
About creating your own world, and I think creativity it's about also being just understanding that it's not only one solution, you know, and working with your team and make sure that they have that right mentality as well. And you have to be flexible, and you have to be and you have to change your concept, evolve, you know, like, and that is what helps you evolve, and that is what makes the idea reality, you know.
Yeah, is there, mate? I love that. There's a guy who's been on loads, Rory Sutherland, who's like does Ogilvy, really creative guy. Got a great book called Alchemy, which is all about. He did statistics as well at university, but all about, it's called Alchemy, like the magic of creativity and how to solve problems. Like, one of his things that I love is, at school you can't rewrite the question, but in business you can. And actually it's a lot about asking dumb questions. It's like, okay, I believe the smart answer lies in the dumb question. So instead of looking for the answer, you say, again, linking this to maths, is what's the different solutions here. And you have a whole buffet of different options. That may work, that may not.
Exactly. I think that goes down to business as well. Not only creating the dishes.
Exactly. So what would you say in terms of that, specific examples of sort of applying the maths to Cole or Fonda, where you've kind of gone to the team and said, right, this is a problem. We're going to find 4 or 5 different solutions to this, and then because I think closed-mindedness in teams or in business is like, sometimes you go to, in a lot of businesses, like, oh, we don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm going to go and ask someone above, but we don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I don't know the answer to that. Oh, we don't have an answer to that.
Yeah.
Well, but fucking bullshit. Like, you can find the best teams are the ones that find ways around, swim around problems, you know?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's been a lot of things, and I cannot take the only credit for that. Like, I think my business partners, Jake and Marco, they're really smart people as well. And I think one of the most difficult things as well about a restaurant is that it's a business, and the most difficult thing about fine dining restaurant is also that it's a business. So then I think the way that we've been working collectively to adjust our course, it's been remarkable, and especially after COVID and all the things that happened when there was so much limitation of like what could we do, and we have to be smart about it. Okay, let's make more courses, and let's have less guests, or let's do a bar downstairs. Okay, let's not do a bar downstairs, and let's bring up the level of the experience. You know, like let's do events. Let's do let's have a test kitchen for ideas. I mean, like there is a lot of business decisions that are being made and make this restaurant grow. But I think one of the most important things, it doesn't matter how many answers you have or how many ideas you have, is like when you work with people like together in the decision making, is that you share the same values. You know,
what are the values you hold?
And the value is quality. You know, like, and we will never compromise the quality. And I think a lot of restaurants with partnerships, they fail because someone compromised the quality. You know, so then I think our common denominator is quality. So it's like, okay, well, preserving the quality or improving, what can we do? You know, and that is something that is, I'm very grateful to meet them, because quality is not only the quality of the food and drinks. Quality is the quality of life of the staff. Quality is the quality of the business. Quality, like, you know, like it's quality means yeah. So it's that we're not gonna compromise that, and that is something that is really important, you know, as well.
But the other side of that is like so many great restaurants are closing.
Yeah.
Like, I interviewed Tom Brown the other week.
Yeah.
You know
I know.
Yeah, he's a legend. Again, very into his creativity, obviously. But he was saying, you know, he had to shut Cornerstone.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
How have you dealt with the quality, the creativity, but also the pressures in 2025 of running Michelin-Star restaurant? Yeah,
so that's the thing. Like, you gotta adapt, man.
How have you adapted?
And I think you gotta adapt to the market. You gotta do something that is beyond, and that's the thing. Like, that is the only thing that we can do here. You know, like, people want an experience, and more they wanna share. I went to this place and I took this with me. Like, I took this unforgettable memory with me. They don't want to go to a place and spend their money in something that is average or formulated or you can have all the time. You know, especially these kind of restaurants.
Yeah.
So I think that is what keep us in our toes. You know, like, I think London is the most competitive city in the world to have a fine dining restaurant, because it's just restaurants is just so good, and in the past 10 years they've been better and better and better restaurants open.
How did you? Yeah, because I was going to say, why did you, out of all the cities in the world, why London? And then also, like, why do you think it's? A lot of people now say this is the best place in the world for a restaurant. Like, why would you say that is?
Well, when I came here for the first time, I saw a potential of a culinary destination.
What
like
year
10
was that?
years. That was like 10 years ago, something like that. Like the first time that I came. Yeah, exactly. 2015.
Can you remember what you did when you first?
Well, I was working for a company in the weekends in London. So I was living in Copenhagen, and I will come here in the weekends to develop, like, do research and development for a company.
Food company.
Yeah, I know. It was just, they will fly me over from Copenhagen, and
Pretty sick.
Yeah, I know. But then it was one of those things that I'm like, what is this place? Like, why they have so many airports and so many like people and interested in food, but without it was starting. I think things were starting. Like Padella just opened, like it was this moment where chefs, they were coming back, and they will open Portland in Portland Street or like Smokestack, and all these places were new. Like it wasn't like
any other restaurants in that period?
I think like the Laughing Heart and like all these like P. Franco and like most of the restaurants were starting in East London to like to like people were like these chefs that travel all around the world and coming back and opening their own restaurant. They had so much understanding of food and culinary like the culinary world, and they started to open their own places, and that was a turning point, because then it's like, okay, well then Kiln open, and suddenly like in central London you will have Koja and you have Kiln and you have and then suddenly in the last 5 years it exploded with like 6 years, like with Mountain and Brad and like and all these incredible Agora and all these restaurants from people that started small, started with Kiln, started with the grazing goat or with the smokestack, and then all these Dorians and what's the name of the Palmer place, the Devonshire, sorry,
Devonshire,
Devonshire, like all these then now we are in the moment where you can access to insane ingredients and really good techniques, and you don't have to go to the Ritz, so you don't have to go to necessarily to go to the River Cafe or to Dinner by Heston or to like all these like restaurants.
Being democratized, essentially.
You can have an amazing lobster in Dorian.
Yeah.
And just walk in and sit outside and have a glass of wine.
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
Yeah.
Or you can have an amazing cut of meat in Brad or this whole fish or whatever. Like, I think before London had an evolution of places that were institutionally French. The St. John's, the British institutions. And then suddenly now we have the new places that are offering you same or more quality for and that is incredible. And also in the fine dining side, you have incredible restaurants like Ikoji and like Club and that, all these places that are making like really like new things as well. So it's a lot happening here, and but it keeps you on your toes.
Yeah.
Like I think if we will live in a less competitive little town somewhere, we will not evolve. And I'm not here, and I don't think anyone lives in London for just to hang out and enjoy life. Yeah, exactly, and
that's the beauty.
But that's what I like.
We were talking about the improvement and the I think the beauty of London is the peace people find is the rush. Ironically, it is the like, right, I'm out, boom, boom, boom. Like I do this. I go to Farringdon for meetings, and I got dinner, boom, boom, and it's like that is the energy.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, otherwise you'll be like, I just did that one thing.
Yeah,
I just did that one.
What would you say your sort of top restaurants are in London? Which ones do you really like?
Well, in terms of fine dining, I really like A Wong,
yeah,
and Endo,
yeah,
Ikoji, Club. I love Mountain as well. I mean, I really like Japanese food, so I go to Koja.
Best Japanese food is?
I mean, like I think Endo in the at La Rotonda White City that is really, really incredible. But like really traditional Japanese food, I'll say like a koya. You can go for breakfast in Soho.
Yeah.
Koya with a K.
Yeah.
And a Tokonoko in Haggerston that also is incredible, like super like chill vibes, like close to the river there, and you can have like also incredible just traditional Japanese food. So
Is there any like sort of cheaper Japanese places?
yeah, those ones, yeah,
Those
yeah, like you can eat for like 20 quid or something.
What I was going to ask is I interviewed Sam Hart, who does Barafina and
Yes.
does Tacos El Pastor.
Yeah,
And I had a look around the kitchen the other week after we had lunch
yeah,
here. And we were talking about, Sam was saying why it's so hard for Mexican restaurants, or like not fine dining restaurants, but kind of like, is it taquerias, what you call them?
Yeah, taquerias,
Taquerias. To open here, obviously they're everywhere in the States. It's almost like the Mexican food hasn't really got going here. And one of the things he was saying is because it's to make the tacos, the machine's incredibly expensive, so it stops a lot of new upstarts from starting up because they don't know if it's going to be a success.
yeah.
I suppose the first question on this is, where would you say is some of the best Mexican food places to go? Because I love Mexican food.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
London.
I mean, there is so many. Like obviously, El Pastor is great. There's a place called Sonora Taqueria.
Where's that?
It's in East London, and then also there's another place called Tacos Padre in Borough Market that is also really good. I haven't been in all the Mexican restaurants in London because I have enough Mexican food in my daily basis, daily life. But apparently there's been like 100 Mexican restaurants open in the last year.
Wow.
With like a high-profile chef in London. So I think we're gonna see more and more Mexican restaurants in London. And it's just one of the things that London does really well is in the moment that you do something with quality, you have overall improvement because people then don't forgive. You know, you have one chance here, and when you do it and it's good, and if it's slightly elevated, people will not go back to like something that is not as good.
Yeah, the boats rise with the tide.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, like,
and if you don't try and float rise, your boat sinks.
And you can see it on the trends of like whenever someone start doing fresh pasta, then people will not doing dry pasta anymore. Like everyone let's do fresh pasta. Like when someone start doing sourdough bread, then it's like, okay, well, we're not gonna not do sourdough bread. And when someone start doing specialty coffee, well, I'm not going to have my like shit coffee anymore. You know, I like the specialty coffee. Like people in London have a really good taste.
Yeah, it's almost like they're applying this to nature. It's the survival of the fittest.
Yeah, exactly.
Adaptation. You're constantly improving.
It is. Yeah, you have people here have a great taste. I think the only thing that happened in the past is that there was just no access. There was no, like, you will think that you will have to go to France or you have to go to Italy to have good Italian food, or that you have to go to India to have a good Indian food, or do you have to, and in my case, that you have to go to Mexico to have good Mexican food. But then the more that belief is changed by delivering a high quality product, then the demand grows, and then also people don't want to have the cheap burrito anymore. You know,
it's interesting what you say about taste, because one of our we produce other people's podcasts. One of our clients, his wife works for, I think she used to work for London Fashion Week, GQ. I think she works for GQ now, or one of the big publishing things. And she was saying, like, London, so you got sort of Paris, Milan, New York, Tokyo, and London as the 5 cities they see as where all the new fashion trends start. And
100%.
and I think what you say in terms of London having, not London and actually the UK in terms of style, it's like rock and roll the Beatles, the Stones.
Yeah, I mean,
like we fucking pioneered rock and
Yeah.
roll, and like what people were wearing was so like out there.
Yeah.
And I believe like what's happening now in food is it's just that's now happening in food.
Yeah.
That's why it's so exciting.
Yes.
There's 1962 for music was when the Beatles started. Then the Rolling Stones happened, and then like all the bands that followed that essentially. And the guy who did Pizza Pilgrim said 2011 was like 1962 for food.
Right.
Because you had street food, you had all the street food kicking off. You had, as you were saying earlier, these influxes of places like 2011, 2012, 2015 Smokestack.
Yeah.
Instagram made people, suddenly everyone into food.
Yeah.
And then you had all these, as you say, just this melting pot. It's insane.
No, it's true. It's true. London has everything. Like it's in the forefront of fashion, of art, science. There's a lot of like incredible scientists. From the UK and also fashion, as you said.
Yeah.
Music, film. Incredible
what films?
filmmakers.
Christopher Nolan. Who else?
Yeah, Joe Wright as well.
Joe Wright.
Joe Wright made the Darkest Hour.
Yeah. Oh, sick. Yeah.
Amazing actors.
Yes.
Like incredible film industry. And then I think the food is what is following. Like it's just the only thing that you'll be like, okay, well, how these guys like done everything.
Yes, that's
but
what
then the food is missing.
Sick. Yeah.
But it was just the access, man. I think it was just the fact that people thought that you couldn't do it here.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, people are, also like climate is changing. You can grow much better things here. And you have an amazing, like this year, we have an amazing season. Like we have better season than in Spain. Like in terms of like the length that we have, like be able to have strawberries and tomatoes and all these things. Like there is like incredible fish, incredible seafood, incredible meat. And for a long time, for years, that has been only mostly exported. Like the biggest, like the people that buy more scallops from Scotland are from Hong Kong, and it's one of those things that are like, and the langoustines go to Spain, and the meat goes to Spain, and then so it's one of those things that are like, now that the food is becoming better organically, people are growing the demand and consuming more local restaurants instead of having to go to Europe for the weekend, etc. There's also more like better communication with the suppliers and with the producers to keep, like, to grow better things and do better things for the local community. The only thing that is hard is that they're just too good. It's just too good. So then the only thing that you can do is to be better. And that is how you survive.
Yeah. How do you deal with the fear of staying relevant? Like, because I think that's the other thing of restaurants.
Yeah.
Can come and go. 1 minute you're in, 1 minute you're out.
Yeah.
Like, how do you? Is it getting better or?
Yeah. No. I mean, like, the thing is that I'm not really afraid of that. I couldn't be more excited. I mean, like, I like to see, like, and focus myself on what is coming, for this restaurant, and I am really glad to say that what is coming for this restaurant, it's incredible, and it's the best team we ever had, the best food we ever had, and I think we couldn't be in a better place. So I'm just excited to see, like, it's one of those things that you could be as stressed as you want to be, but I think when you have a great product and you have a great team, there's nothing to be afraid of.
Yes. I want to talk about Mexican soul, because that's a big part of this, and really get into the Mexican side of things. Like, who do I speak to? I love it. Like, I was at a wedding on this weekend, just gone, and so half of them were like, half the bride side were German, and they were saying there's a word in German. They were discussing the mum. They said, like, well, I can't pronounce it right, but it was like some words in some languages don't exist in other languages.
Yep.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so like I think the word they used was like warmth and homeliness.
Yeah.
And it didn't. It was like just one word. The Japanese have a word for. They've got some mad words. They've got a word for walking through a forest when the bluebells are out.
All right.
Like as in just mad. Are there any words in Mexican or Mexico that the British language don't have that are really interesting to you?
I am not 100% aware right now of pretty much anything, but there is one that I saw the other day that is called apapacho.
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 So I'm saying that like an
Yeah,
Italian.
so it's like a hug. It's like a hug to the soul. Apapacho. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Apapachar. It's like you hugging someone else's soul.
Yes.
So yeah, so that's like it's like comforting but in the highest of the levels, you know,
Apapacho,
like
yeah.
apapachar,
Yeah, so I'm saying like an Italian, mate.
apapachar,
That's jokes.
apapachar, yeah.
And what about the other way around? Any British words? I know there's a lot of slang.
I mean, I think there is a lot of things that we never say. I mean, like there is a lot of normal things in English that you never say in Spanish. Like, for example, looking forward to, or I'm excited.
What would you say?
You just don't say it. You just
So how do you say?
do it.
That's jokes.
Yeah, like you will never say like, oh well, I'm very excited. Or like you could say it, but you will never say it. Or like looking forward, like these kind of things. Like you never.
Wow.
Like yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like a too formal. Like it will be like a really like a very formal way of expressing that you will never say in Spanish. Yeah, it's funny
That's
because now I mean, like I've been living here for 7 years and I've been living in English-speaking countries for about 10 years or 12 years, and I mean for me it's very normal to say that sounds very exciting or looking forward to it. But then when I translate it, I feel like, oh, that's not what you say. Yeah.
Is there any other things like that?
I'm sure there's loads, but I'm not sure like right now.
Yeah.
Top of my head.
Yeah. That's.
I mean, like on the top of my head, it doesn't exist. I mean, like there's a lot of things that don't exist. Yeah.
So talk to me about your like growing up in Mexico. Whereabouts were you? What was your home like? Was it a busy city? Paint the picture of that for me.
Yeah, so I'm from Cuernavaca. That is a 40 minutes drive from Mexico City. It's a small town, and used to be this like weekend town from the people from Mexico City.
What's like on the coast, or is it?
No. It's like in the middle.
Right.
Like, it's like kind of like the Kent of Mexico City in a way.
Jokes.
You know? Like, it's just
Yeah.
close, you know.
Yeah.
And but imagine that Kent will have like the best weather, because the thing is that Mexico City is really high altitude. So then when you go down, there's a valley, right? That's Cuernavaca. So you have to go down from Mexico City for 45 minutes.
Is the weather not good in Mexico City?
Not as good.
Really?
So Cuernavaca, they call it the city of the eternal spring.
Wow.
So you will have between 25 to, but like between 24 to 30 degrees all year.
Oh, mate.
So you never had anything less than 24 degrees, and you will never have anything over 30 degrees. So then it's just the perfect pocket of paradise where everyone, like all the houses have a swimming pool, everyone is in flip-flops in the streets, and it was cheaper than Mexico City. So people from Mexico City, after this big earthquake, they bought properties there and they moved there, and that is where I born. Well, when I grew up. And it was so it wasn't like too rural, the town. It was more like a new city.
Yeah.
And I studied there, and it's a beautiful weather, like really warm. And but then you know what, we are from this generation of fast food and microwave. Like microwave was a new thing when I was a kid, and potato mash from the package was a new thing, and the pizza delivery was a new thing. So my childhood food was more that, you know, like having pizza and having, you know, like like fry fish with potato mash, and just like a very
Still good.
classic, good, traditional, but more like modern food than the actual like Mexican like indigenous food, you know.
Yeah. What are some of the lessons culturally from Mexico that you think you apply? Or I know we talked about drama and color, and I experienced that in South America, not in Mexico specifically, but I think that really is applicable to Brits. So sometimes we can be a bit like, you know, what are some of the other things you think are really interesting?
I think positivity, you know, like positive. Mexicans,
Really?
I'm Mexican, and Mexicans, we're positive. You know, like you always find the right side, but the bright side. You always find the bright side.
Yes.
There is always a way of enjoying something in anything in life, because we don't have much, you know. And I think something that I learned working of my time working in Mexico in the kitchens is that the guy could have nothing. Like literally, like the guy that was working with you lives in a place that is like 3 hours drive, like 3 hours in like public transportation from the restaurant, and has a family and kids, and like lives in a building site. Like I went to his house once, like 3 hours away, and I was 15, and his house was like a building site, no windows, no doors, you know, just couches in the floor, and he will earn less than me because I went to high school, he didn't, and we will go to like a place to like have a drink. He will invite me a beer, you know, like that sense of solidarity. Like I know the guy can't afford his life, but there is a solidarity element of Mexicans that we support each other, and also we laugh. You know, we find the bright side. We are positive people. Like we are never, because you're used to survival. Like you used to have so many problems, like the traffic, that is like there's no water supply today in the whole country, or the politics, or the economy, or whatever it is. Like it's always, every single day of your life, you have a problem. So then whatever we have is to join forces on positivity. And I think I feel that I'm a very positive person.
Yeah.
And that is what I bring to the table by being Mexican. Like positivity and ingenious. Like I don't know if that's an English word, but ingenioso. Yeah, ingenioso. Like when you are creative with what you have. That you're not like, okay, well, just make it happen. Let's put your wheel doesn't work. Okay, let's just like get this wooden board and just like cut it into a round thing and put that, and you're fine. You're good to go. You go home, and that kind of
Mate, that's
way of making things happen. Like we are in Mexico. People will make things happen. It doesn't make sense. It might not look pretty, but it works. And that is what Mexicans, we are spicy, we are fun, we are positive, and we make things happen.
Make it happen, yeah.
At all costs.
Yeah.
And we make mistakes, you know, but we don't think too much about what is going to happen afterwards. But it works. And people also we are very like, we believe in solidarity, and we also really friendly. Like I think we are like, it's like, I think Mexico is one of the warmest place to be. You know, like when you go there, you make a friend in no time. Like
Really?
you go to anywhere and people will speak to you, and you will be friends. You know, like your first day at work, and then you know everyone, and you know, like they invite you to their house. Like it's like there is a sense of like openness and friendliness that is really good. So those are the things that I think are really Mexican, you know?
Yeah. In terms of, so, you know, you talked about the sort of the politics, and one thing I'd love to know is like, I think there's a lot of noise, and it's like with mass media, right?
Yeah.
So there's all the talks of like the cartels and all that shit. And, But what was that like on the ground for you growing up? Was that,
I mean,
and also, what do you think the Westerners get wrong about Mexico? What do they not understand? Because, you know, you hear stories of fucking El Chapo, like, what's it actually like, you know?
I mean, like, it just depends where you are in Mexico and who you are with.
Right.
I think Mexico is wild as well.
Wild. Yeah,
wild.
But as in, like,
it's unpredictable, wild. You know, you never know what is gonna happen.
Even as a local.
Even as a local.
Wow.
But if you will not, like, all these like massive crimes and cartels, and they are organized. So that's why we call it the organized crime. So they're organized, actually. They're very organized. So then they will not randomly shoot you in the street, basically, you know? Like, you need to be with the wrong people doing the wrong things in a wrong place for that to happen to you. That can happen to you, but it's not going to happen to a foreigner. It's not going to happen to, like, a young kid that just happened to born in, like, my hometown, or if you're in Mexico City, like, Mexico is safe.
Yeah.
For people to visit, for people to live there. The only thing that is unsafe about Mexico is if you're a drug dealer, or you or you go out with a drug dealer wife, you know, like is not gonna end in a good way. So
when you say
you gotta be a little bit more careful than outside the world.
Yeah.
You know, on what are your actions and what are you doing and where are you doing it. But it's not the Wild West, you know, like you can be there and have a really happy life.
Yeah. What's on playing this back is playing the other reverse. What are some things you take from British culture that you think are like Mexicans could benefit from? Because I interviewed someone who says the only way to understand your culture is by going in other people's culture.
Yeah.
And I'd love to sort of use sort of being here, experience this for 7 years. What have you picked up from the British?
I mean, I love this country and I love living here because of, you know, the structure and structure, you know, and the just the idea that things that work make you happy, you know, like that the underground works and that the flight is not delayed and that you know what you're gonna get. You know, I like that sense of like peace of the everyday life, you know, like very small things. Like when I came first to Europe was to be able to see how long the bus is going to take to pick you up in the station, like in the little thing that you see, like, 10 minutes, like, whoa, like that will never ever happen in Mexico. Like, that's all, like, very small things, right? Small things. Like, but you know, I think one of the things that I really like about British culture as well is that you will never say yes if you're not 100% sure, you know, and that is something that we could take on, you know, because we say yes really quickly. It's like, sure, man.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so talk to me a bit more about that.
No, like in terms of like maybe you're gonna you want to get a side, or you're gonna get a deal, or someone wants to, like, someone is gonna work with you or something like that. Like here, people are conscious about what is gonna happen if I commit, right? So it's a very it's an very honorable way of doing things.
Yes.
And that take longer. That will take longer because they need to check. You know, they need to speak with their team. They need to, like, you know, like, they need to review. You need to submit things. You need to, like, you know, like, it just takes longer. But when someone say yes, it means yes. You know,
yes.
Like in Mexico,
yes.
But in Mexico, yes can mean no. You know, like, you never know. You never know if yes will be no in some point. You know, like, so then it's like, it's one of those things that yes comes really fast in Mexico.
What other any other things from Britain?
I love the weather as well.
Fuck off.
The weather, man, like, I love...
Mate, the weather's so pony.
I like to sleep in a place that is cold and that is raining outside, or like go out in the rain, or just like, I just don't like hot weather.
Okay, this is very interesting, right?
That's just very personal. You know?
So you know the John Hegarty guy?
Yeah.
He's got another really good book on creativity. Yeah. I'll send you all these.
Yeah.
the big advertising guy interviewed the other week. He goes, if you want to be creative, never ever go to a hot country, right? And he basically says, and I was asking, come on, man, like,
it's
he goes,
true,
he goes, well, look, best rock bands, Manchester, Oasis, Stone Roses, blah blah blah. The best storytellers, Ireland, some of the best novelists. How does the weather impact your creativity, would you say?
No, 100%. I mean, like, it's just the willingness of doing something that you don't have when you're in the beach tanning, you know? Like, you just don't have that, you know? Like, everyone is in a bikini. I mean, like, come on. Like, you're not going to focus on, I'm going to create this new, like, scallop dish, you know?
When the weather's shit, you want to go and...
No, I mean, like, you just... But I don't really think about that as much. It's just like a personal. I think it's just a personal. It's a personal preference that I just don't like the heat, the too much heat. You know.
Yeah.
Like, and also it's good for a restaurant. Like, if the weather is amazing outside, no one wants to get in a restaurant. Like, people want to be outside. So then.
That could be another reason why London's food's because the weather's a bit pony. Yeah,
I mean, it's just great. It's just amazing, and it's not as bad as you live in Moscow or in Copenhagen. You know that.
Is weather in Copenhagen?
Yeah. I mean, like, it's not great.
Actually, we met these Swedish girls when I was in when we were in France.
Yeah,
and they were saying like it gets dark at 3 p.m.
Yeah, or even before that. Like sometimes at 1 p.m. it's already black. And
man, that's,
yeah. I mean, like, it is, and also it's like cold and windy, and it's like it hurts. Even if you have gloves, like from November, it's already like, whoa. So it's painful. It's sting. It's like stingy weather. That here you don't have that. I mean, like, here people get a bit depressed in
the weather.
But it's not like, this is not cold, guys. Like,
yeah.
Moscow, you open the door of your house, and there's snow.
So what are the countries
falling in your face? You know?
So you talk me through some of the countries you've been to, and like, what are some of the most?
I mean, like, I mainly live like for the longest period of time in Spain, in Basque Country, in Copenhagen, and in Russia. So those ones are the places that I live the longest, like more than a year, like year or 4 years. Yeah. I was executive chef of a restaurant in Moscow, and then executive chef of like different restaurants in St. Petersburg.
Sorry, I find this stuff so interesting. But like, so talk to me about like growing up, like, so not growing up, but like being in Moscow.
Yeah, I mean, like, it was.
What's their culture like? Because again,
I mean, a Mexican, 25-year-old Mexican in chef.
It's a bloody wonderful oxymoron.
In Moscow, I mean, like, it's just one of those experiences that. I mean, like, it's unforgettable experience of like the amount of things that you will never imagine what you can do over there, and it's, I think one of the
surprised you about that.
Yeah, but one of the things about Russia is that Russia is very Russian, but it's also not open. Like, you don't know what you get.
They've got the best novelists.
It's like, you're gonna go to Russia, you don't know what to expect, and I'm always about expectations. Like me, I love. And I mean, like, my brother is very different than me. Like, my brother is no expectations. And when we go to a place and stuff like that, it's like, I'm curious about, like, what are you all expecting about this? And he's like, nothing. And I'm like, what? Like, I always expect everything. Like, I expect the best, I expect the worst, my expectations.
Like that. Yeah.
So then in Russia, when I moved there, I was like, it was the only place that I ever been and moved that I had zero expectations, that I have no idea what I will get. Like, I have no idea. And when I arrived, I was right. There was nothing that you can expect.
So how
you will understand when you're there. Like, no one speaks English. The weather is like minus 30 degrees, like in the winter, like minus 28, minus 30 degrees in the winter. The snow goes all the way up. And people are just really, 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 like, incredible. You know, they're really incredible, but they're very Russian. And it's
very Russian.
It's just a different culture. You know, like, I had the best time. I really have the best time. Like, people, I was really rare. I was a really rare individual. But I remember they had this. They used to say this thing that is like that I was too happy. That it was like, it was strange to see someone smiling, You know, like it was strange. Like you shouldn't smile
Yeah.
because something bad is gonna happen to you. You know, like that kind of
Wow.
like a serious chat. It's like, man, like be careful. You know, like you're smiling too much, man. And I'm like, what? I was like, yeah, I'm like,
mad.
no, it is one of those things. But I made the best friends in my life there because it is like even
With
like,
other Russians or they just other chefs?
with other Russians. That is just like really people that are really loyal. You know, really loyal, and it's same like they're cold at first, really cold at first, but then when you manage to like show the level of respect and loyalness to the other person.
Yeah, because they've got their art and their theatre is so they've got Dostoevsky, whatever, Crime and Punishment, one of the best books I've ever read. The bloke who wrote Lolita, again, one of the most great. You read that, you're like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
So it's like you've got this really cold culture, but and again, it's like kind of a bit like Japan. It's kind of shut off.
Yeah.
But they have their own, as you say, very Russian.
It's amazing.
What are some of the lessons you took from your friends you met over there? Like,
I
just find this stuff so fascinating.
like they have a lot of determination, for sure.
Determination.
Yeah, determination. They're super hard workers, and they are really loyal and really straightforward. I think something that they have is that they will never, like they will say you the truth, like straight to your face, no filters. That's it, black and white. And that is something that is very admirable. And also what I learned is that you never drink vodka with like if you never challenge a Russian to drink vodka with you, because that is it's just not gonna end well. You know,
Mate, a few more things and we'll wrap this up. I'm loving this, but I hope that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. So I know you went through a really rough period whereby you lost your father, your grandfather, and I think a lot of people listen to this as much to get how they get through tough times. Everyone's going through something.
Yeah.
Talk to me about how, if you're okay going there, how you navigated that period of your life. What did that feel like?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think, it was a very sad moment. I wanted to be a mathematician. I was in between being a mathematician, a chef, and an artist. So those are the three things that I was like.
When you say artist, like a painter.
A painter, yeah.
Wow.
And I was in between that, and and then suddenly I was 15, like early 15, late 14s, and then in that moment, my dad, my grandfather, and my grandmother passed away in the same month. It was January, I think, and it was a very sad moment. And I didn't want to go to school. I mean, like, I went to school, and everyone will, like, the kids will send me little notes of like, I'm sorry, or like and it'll put in my backpack.
Wow.
So I'll open my backpack and I will see these little notes, and I was just really devastated, like brokenhearted, and I just didn't want to go to school for a while, and I just started that job in a restaurant like three months before, and in an Italian restaurant, and I decided to go back to the restaurant. I was like, I'm not gonna go to school for a while, because I felt that everyone felt really, really deeply sorry for me, and it was uncomfortable because no one will say anything to me, and I wasn't able to really cope with it or know how to act, you know. And I went back to the restaurant, and I felt like I belong there, you know. Like obviously, when you go to a restaurant and something happened to you, everything is so fast paced. Everyone is just really like, everyone was like grown-ups, you know, working there, and like, so sorry, man, you know, like, and that's it. Like, you have to get ready for service, you know. And I felt that it was good for my coping, but also the owner of the restaurant will give me bread, will give me like wine, will give me like some of the elements of the dishes that we had in the restaurant to cook for my mother and my brother at home. So I will go back to home, and I will cook for them like feasts, and they will be happy, you know. And I think the fact of like me from the kitchen, looking at them happy,
looking at your mum and brother.
Yeah, my mom and brother happy in such a sad times. sharing a meal that I made with my hands, so sharing something that I made with my hands, made me realize that I wanted to do that for the rest of my life.
So do you think you'd be sat here today with one of the best restaurants in the world, with an amazing fonda down the road, if your grandmother, grandfather, and father hadn't passed away? Do you think?
I think so. Because
Wow.
I think when I was in the kitchen, and I remember that as it will be yesterday, I put myself a goal with a very very, very strict determination of saying, because I was hurt and I was sad, but also at the same time I was like, I'm gonna take this and transform it into strength to build myself up to the top in this profession. Like, it doesn't matter how long it takes me. It doesn't matter what I have to do. It doesn't matter where I have to go. I'm gonna do it, And like, seriously, I thought about that, and I never looked back. And I felt that in the kitchen, as I was safe, And it's one of those things that when I think about it a little bit more in the psychological side of things, like, I think I kind of like I try to avoid that loss in a way by going to the kitchen, but at the same time it helped me to have a goal in life. So then I stay in the kitchen, and like for years and for years and years and years I still in the kitchen. But yeah, I think when something happened to you, like now that I understand it, when something bad or something that is not necessarily right happened to you, is for a reason, and you just need to understand that as a fact, and use that as a strength to grow, and that was the first thing that happened to me that target a whole life.
The universe pointing you.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
how did they die? Was it out of the blue, or was it?
Well, my grandmother was ill always, and then well, not always, but like for a long time.
Yeah.
And then there was a moment that she just like gone, like heart attack, and then my grandfather didn't want to live without her.
I see.
He was just he was healthy. He was the best grandpa in the world, Spanish from the civil, like he was in the Civil War, and he will tell me like his war stories.
Oh, sick! Yeah.
But he was madly in love with her. In the moment that she passed away, 2 days after, he passed away, sleeping in his bed. Like, I don't want to live without her. And then my father follow them in a way. Like he also had like an accident in a boat, like so many years ago. But then in that moment, it was that kind of like, just like in a like slip from a boat, he was also like, he also had like this like he wasn't like completely healthy, but
right
in that moment when his parents passed away, he also gave up. It was one of those things that is like, I think my grandmother passing away made them just passed away as well. Yeah. It was like, it just triggered them to be like, okay, well, that's fine. I don't know, I don't know the reason like completely, but yeah.
No, but it's beautiful, and I appreciate you being so open. But like, I think it really gives me some real deep understanding of how, one, the drive, the tenacity, but like how you've built this so quickly because you're so young still.
And I think it's important wherever you want to do something to believe in it.
Yeah.
And but to believe in it like until the last like moment, and also to commit on your belief.
Skin in the game versus soul in the game.
Yeah.
People think they're committed with skin in the game. If someone's got soul in the game, you're gonna fucking wipe them to the floor.
You gotta be completely and devoted to your dream.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, and you don't have to, I mean, like, and I think, it's gonna sound quite extreme, but there is nothing else that have to exist for you. It's just that. It's not what people are gonna say. It's not how you feel about yourself in that, like, it's not the time, the length that it's gonna take you. It's just what you wanna do and how to get there. Have a plan. Because if you don't have a plan and you expect people to help you to, like, make your dreams reality, it's not going to happen, because they are making their own dreams reality, and they can only help you to a certain extent. So you don't have to expect people to take you there, or people to like to be like lucky or anything. You got to sit down and be like, I wanna do this, and I wanna have this, and I wanna create this, or I wanna move to London and open my restaurant. I want the restaurant to be one of the best in the world. I want to open another restaurant. Whatever you wanna do in your life. What are the attributes and the things that you have to have as a person to be able to be ready for when that opportunity finally happens? Because the universe is not gonna give you a shot if you're not the right man for the job.
Yeah. In terms of the right man for the job, right? So I love people who do things slightly differently or have a different way. Because I agree, like, you've got to just find your way to just get through it. How old are you? 32, 31?
No, now I'm 35.
Oh, 35, sorry. Yeah. But still really young in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
But you could line up a lot of 35-year-old chefs and they wouldn't be able to achieve what you've achieved. What did you do differently, do you think?
Be kind, I think. I think kindness is... there's two things, I think. One is, and I think if you will tell me, like, will you do this again? I will say no. Like, I will not move here again. Like, I will not go through everything that I went through to get this restaurant, because it's just incredibly complicated and challenging and, like, mentally, like not draining, but it's like hard, So, but I think one of the biggest attributes that I had, it was to be innocent. Innocence is a blessing, and I realized that over the time. If I will know how hard it will be, I will not do it. I'll be like, you know what? Maybe I just do that. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I came here with, like, that's what we're gonna do, and it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what is gonna happen and how it's gonna happen, and that is a blessing. That the more that you understand things, the more that you grow up, the less innocent you are. So then to like literally just like jump in the open sea like that, without having to, like, think about any repercussions or have or develop any sort of like modern things, like, well, like, not modern things, but like things that we have, like when you have more responsibilities, like, I don't know, like anxiety or stress or anything. It was just like, I'm gonna go there and I'm just gonna do it, and that's it, and that is something that is important. And also, again, I think to be kind to others and not expect anything back. And because I think there's a lot of people that are very that are more selfish or immature or they want everything for themselves. Where I come here with a humble goal of, like, not, this is not for myself, it's for my country, and it's for, like, helping people and building a community.
Yeah.
It's not because I want to come here and, like, be the best chef in the world.
Yeah, there's a deeper reason behind it.
Yeah. So I think if you have a deeper reason behind it, and you're kind with others, you're determined, and you're also, like, quite innocent in a way that you could also even like have an innocent mindset of being like, okay, well, I actually don't really mind whatever is going to take me, and to have goals every like very often.
Yes.
You know, because when you're working on your own, you have your own company. Like when you're working for yourself, and especially when you're working for yourself and you're actually not working, that was like what it happened to me when I moved here. That it was 1 year of like I had no job and no money and
How did you get
no
the
contacts.
Yeah, how did you get the
So-
contacts to get this place?
It was just like coffee. Like I mean, like it is an accumulation.
of course, yeah,
Because you can always meet someone, right?
yeah.
That is
So
like
you go into a network
some
like
rich
what
guy
we,
or something.
yeah, some rich
Yeah,
guy,
exactly.
yeah. That's something London has got a lot of.
like,
Yeah,
I don't know, like hang out in Annabelle's or something. but it's not the way that it doesn't really work like that, because what I needed to do is to understand this city and this country first,
yeah.
and then after that I needed to grow my name.
So how did you?
So then
do
that is something that I wrote down as well.
So what did you?
Like,
Do? Yeah,
that
but
was
how
the
did you
plan.
grow your name?
So they grow like first understanding this place.
Yeah.
So then understanding this place also means meeting people in the industry. So I send like Instagram messages to like some of the best chefs in London, and I will just have coffees with them.
yeah.
Like, hey, can I have a quick coffee with you? Just to like meet them and like trying to understand what's going on here.
Yeah.
Because I have no idea.
Yeah.
So then some of them will reply, some of them will not. But then and then it was a bit awkward, you know, to have like a coffee with like some random stranger, and that doesn't need anything from you. It's strange.
Yes.
But I needed it. I need also to like feel
Who were
that
some of
I'm
those
meeting
chefs?
someone like James Lowe, for example. Like,
Yes.
from Lyles, like he was so nice, and we sit down and he was like, yeah, man, you know, like this is London, this is the suppliers, this is what I do, this is my story. It's like, oh, yeah, thank you so much. And that's it. And then like slowly like meeting people, going to like these like industry like wine bars kind of events and stuff like that to like meet people. Hey, I'm Santiago. I'm like networking. I had to do a lot of networking to like get to like make a list of people that I know in London. And then also going to farms, going to visit producers, going to visit foragers.
And you had no income at this point.
No income. Yeah.
So how were you surviving?
I mean, like I will probably have like one glass of wine, and in these events, and or water, and then I will take the train. You know, like I'll take the train, and then sometimes I will probably do an event or two in Europe or in Russia. I will go to Russia to do something.
yeah.
Like sometimes, you know, but I will have like a budget of £20 a day that I will lay in the floor. So in the floor, I will put £20. Okay, so 7 days. So seven notes of £20. And that was my budget for the day, and until it just runs out.
And what would you buy to eat? Is that when you're buying?
Yeah, I mean, like the thing is that I will just not eat as much, you know, like sometimes I will eat, sometimes I will not. And then, so then that is like the video that you saw is like there was a moment late on this journey of the first year that I was here, a little bit more than a year. It was just enough events that I could do in Europe, and I didn't want to get a job here because I knew that if you get a job here, you're done. Like your dream is done. Like you're gonna be the guy that moves here because he wants to open a restaurant. But in your head, you're washing dishes, or in your head, you're peeling potatoes. So I don't want to do that. Like I don't want to get a job because a lot of people like offered me a job. Like, yeah, you don't want to work. And it's like, so I don't want to get a job. I don't want to lose my focus going and organizing all these events and stuff like that. I just gonna be here, and it was in the very, very last moments where I just run out of everything. So then, like there was a moment that I was just like, I will walk home because I will not have enough money for the bus. It's like the bus, you know, that was like £2 or like £1.50 or something. I was like, if I pay for the bus, I can't have dinner. You know, so I have to walk like 2.5 hours or something, and then go to Sainsbury's and just buy a package of ham, because there was like this 1 pound ham, and I couldn't afford the bread. I wasn't able to make a proper sandwich, but I'll get two packages of ham, and I will have that. And then you get into a point that you're like, well, I'm getting into a moment where I'm in a survival mode now. And then the question is, how long this is going to take me? Is it really going to happen? And then also trying to understand, you start to figure out that a lot of people are doing the same thing. You start meeting people again and again in these things, and they're also chefs, and they're also move here, and they also want to open the restaurants, but they've been here for years. They've been here for 8 years. They've been here for 10 years. So then you start to doubt on yourself and be like, okay, well, maybe I'm gonna fail, And then also the hardest part on that, and I remember calling my mom and be like, I will not tell her my situation or anything, but then I was I was just thinking in that moment, how, if I have 12 years of experience working in some of the best restaurants in the world, I work at Noma, I work at Mugaritz, I have all this knowledge, I can't afford to have a proper meal or to live in a proper place, But then, and you go to sleep sad, You go to sleep sad. You go to sleep empty. You feel empty, I'll have a date once a month, because I couldn't really I don't struggle. I will not struggle maybe getting a girl that wants to go out with me, but I will have to decide when to have that date. And I will have one date a month, and we will split the bill.
Yeah.
And we'll go to the cheap place.
Go to Greg's.
Yeah. And I will be
half a sausage roll.
Yeah. It was and that was the thing, please don't tell me that you want to go to my place. That was the only.
Where were you
thing
living?
I was thinking. Huh?
Where were you living in Acton?
No. I was living in it's called Kidbroke. It's close to Lewisham.
Okay, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was living in a couch. That my feet will not it couldn't fit my feet, in the couch. But then the thing is that then you wake up, and then I think what it makes the difference, and I think that makes the difference to succeed. I think that is what it makes the difference between who makes it and who doesn't. I guess, What's your plan? Even if every single thing that surrounds you in your visual life is nothing, and you have nothing, what's your plan? What's your goal? And are you growing? And then I will make sure that every week I will have a goal, and I will tick a box.
What are some of those goals?
They were really small goals.
This is the whole thing, man.
Yeah.
We're sat here, man. We've got this beautiful, one of the most amazing restaurants, best restaurant in the world.
Yeah.
People will be listening to this, been they'll probably be in a way better position to. If you're born in London, you're already 100 steps ahead, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what were you doing?
The goals were areas of London. So just to find the area for my restaurant. So I will go every day to walk in a different area, but I will walk for 5 hours, 4 hours or something. In Chelsea and in Shoreditch and in Marylebone, Mayfair, Islington, and I will write in my little notebook what do I think about this area, and how it makes me feel. So then,
what did you like about Marylebone?
I like that it doesn't have all the areas in London have a label. The main areas, let's say.
So Shoreditch.
Yeah, Shoreditch, Chelsea, Mayfair. You know the labels.
Yeah.
So then I think Marley. Yeah, exactly. You know what? There is labels, right?
Yeah, of course there is.
Camden,
Well, London's
Bermondsey.
a collection of small towns.
Yeah, like even like south of the river, that's a label. Like there is. So then Marylebone, it's a very interesting place because it's quality. There is some sort of label of quality. You know, like you know that if you buy a piano in Marylebone, it's gonna be a good piano. Like you know if you go to the dentist in Marylebone, it's gonna be a good dentist. You know, and you know that if you go and stay in a hotel in Marylebone, it's gonna be good. And it's just that, like if you're gonna buy a mattress, if you're gonna buy shoes, if you're gonna buy an umbrella, you know, there is a sense of quality. So then that is my dream was to, or it is still to showcase the meaning of quality of Mexican culture, Mexican cuisine. So I think from all the places, without being overly pretentious, I think Marylebone was the most solid, like the most solid area for my concept. Because also it's close to Central, it's not in the center, and it's also like, I was very specific on what I want. I want people to be close, also the restaurants to be close to underground, but not straight after, but you have to walk like 5 minutes or like 4 minutes, and just, you know, like that kind of, to be close to a street where you can get a taxi, but it's not super crowded street. It was a lot of thinking.
What other things were you like?
I wanted to be a big place,
Yeah.
big space,
Yeah.
where I could feed this open kitchen and like, you know, like this house. So then I needed a big site as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a lot of the goals. Yeah. So then also like knowing about PR, like what is publicity, like what is PR. So then a week of like meeting different PR companies and stuff like that, just to understand what they're doing, etc. Like they will ask me like, when are you opening? And I'm like, I don't know. One day,
And
I'll
how
call
did
you
you-
back.
How did you get the investments to then get the site?
Yeah, so then after that very, very difficult period, then I was like, okay, well, I think I'm ready to do pop-ups here. You know,
Yeah.
like to cook in London. Because I had
You had the
choirs,
skills. Yes.
I have the skills and I have the knowledge, but my knowledge wasn't good enough. And my contacts were not good enough. So then I fear that if I do it too early, I will miss the chance. So then that's why I had to take like 1 year to like really be sure of where I was, who I was with, and so then I could like do stuff, you know. So then in that moment we're like, okay, well, I cannot even afford a sandwich. I better get to work, you know. You know. so then I started doing pop-ups. You know, I started in Carousel, and then I was like doing like different pop-ups in different like either like kitchen shops, or also like even like taking over a coffee shop of like someone had a coffee shop. It's like, yeah, I can take over your coffee shop, and I will do a tasting menu in the coffee shop. You know, like stuff like that I will promote myself, and I will invite like all the contacts that I had and people to like talk about it and stuff like that. And that was a process. And then after that, I started getting like I got like some press that they will go to those pop-ups and they will write about me. And then after that, there's some people that start reaching out to me that wanted to invest in my restaurant. You know, they will be like, I want to open a restaurant with you. And I had some meetings with different people that wanted to invest, and they were not very nice. They were actually the opposite of nice, and I had bad luck. And I was like, it's very difficult to say no when you're in that position, you know. And I remember to be in a meeting with like literally no money, and after all this time, and someone is like, well, how many millions you want? I give you everything, but you don't like the person. And we can start tomorrow, you know, and you don't like the person, what you do? So I had to say no to like a few times, and it was really hard. But anyways, that's a different story. But the thing is that through a common friend, funny enough, I met my business partners now, Jake and Marco, and we had a coffee in Electric House, and they were like the coolest people.
What was their background?
they used to do. They have a company called MJMK, and they used to do music events like parties with DJs around the world, and here in London. And then at the moment they were opening a restaurant called Casa de Frango in London Bridge.
Oh yeah. I love that place.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah.
So they were opening that restaurant. They were about to open that restaurant. They wanted to move from music to food, to open restaurants. And my friend was like, okay, I have this my brother has a friend that wants to open a restaurant. Apparently they were hiking in New Zealand. And then he was like after like 6 hours hiking, he's like, oh yeah, we're gonna open a restaurant in London. Oh, I have my sister has a friend, there's a chef in London. So then they put us in contact, and I had coffee with them, and I was like, oh my God, these guys are very cool. If I don't work with them, I want to be their friend, and that was a good thing. And they really liked the idea and the concept, and I really felt that it was amazing to work with them. And then now we've been working together since then, like 7 years now.
Mate, I love going reverse engineering, like where we are now, and going into all the graft that it took to get. It's so good. Final thing is, I know in terms of like excellence and world performers, I know that Tom Cruise has been here. He gave you a cake.
Yeah.
Like, talk me about that experience, and what did he teach you about like life, or what did you learn from him?
I think Tom.
And why did he come here? What was the crap with that?
I mean, he came the first time that we got in the top 50 and the 50 best. Like literally on the same day he booked. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. He was like I got a text because I was in Valencia in the award ceremony, and they messaged me, just Tom Cruise just booked a table. And I was like, what? And then so then he came over, and I was very excited because, you know what, like I'm very big fan.
Did you fly back from Valencia?
I flew back to Malaysia, but it wasn't like he didn't came the same day. He was he booked for next week or something.
Oh, sorry. Okay, with you.
So he came back from
Did
Malaysia.
it say Tom Cruise?
Huh?
Did you just say like Tom Cruise on the thing?
No, her personal assistant contact the restaurant.
Okay,
It's like, okay, you know what, Tom Cruise wants to come.
Well, I might change my name to Tom Cruise.
Yeah. I mean, like you could. But,
Yeah.
But then it's always like the assistant, that makes these kind of things. And then I was very excited because I'm a big fan of him. And my mom and like my dad was a big fan. Like it's like a really like big figure for us growing up, like Tom Cruise, and he's a legend. And when he came was like, I think it was like one of like the highlights of this restaurant, to have Tom Cruise suddenly like eating there. And but I didn't really say anything because the celebrities were really like, we don't make too like fuss out of the celebrities. We want to treat them as a normal guests, and he was as a normal guest as well. Like he had a table for security, and he was there as well. And then at the end of the meal, I say like thank you, and then that's it. That was it basically. I left, and then when he finished his meal, he got so excited and he was so happy that he shook the hands of every single member of the staff. I wasn't there anymore, and then. That's it. But then after like 4 months or something, he came back. And then, okay. So then I spoke with him a little bit. I introduced myself. And then he was like, hey, man, like, thank you so much. Seriously, this is my favorite restaurant.
Wow.
And because it makes me feel good. And then the thing is that he likes to eat a very healthy food. So he doesn't like any like added sugar or dairy or additives or gluten and stuff like that. And we don't use any of that things because I like very healthy food as well. So the food is full of fermented ingredients, like full of like good fiber, good ingredients, local, wild. So then he loved the feeling of coming to the restaurant. And then he's like, you know what, I'm gonna come back. And then 2 days after, he was back.
Wow.
And then he came back with the film director, with Iñárritu, with the guy from Birdman, the director of Birdman. And then he came the next day, like 2 days after he came with him. And then like, you know what, I'm gonna bring all the best Mexican directors in the world.
Wow.
And then next week he was with Guillermo del Toro, that is the one that made The Shape of Water and the Labyrinth. Maze, and he's doing the new Frankenstein movie. Like he's like
I don't know those films, but yeah.
He's a legend. He's a legend, and he so they all came, like all this like like amazing film directors and Tom, and they asked me to sit down with them. So I was like, okay, I see that.
Sick.
Yeah, I was like this, like, and then he was talking and everything, and then after that, I told him that we're gonna open another restaurant, etc. And he's like, I'll be there. When we open, first Saturday, he's there. And then he's like, I'm gonna come back next week. And then he come back and then at the end he's been here like so many times and we are kind of he sent us a cake in Christmas to like this like Christmas cake of Tom Cruise that they fly from LA and to the whole world, that they have a list and everything, and they send us one to phone and one to call, and like he loves it here, and the thing that I mean, like, he is really the determined person as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, what did you pick up from him?
Very present, very determined, but also very kind and humble. Like, he's super nice. No, like, it's difficult to, but when you get to know him, he's like super nice. He invited me to the premiere of the Mission Impossible here. He invited my mom to the premiere of Mission Impossible in Mexico.
Wow.
Yeah, like, he's like really kind and generous, and also one of the things that I haven't really had like a long chat with him, but the few things that we chat and stuff like that, he's just like super nice guy, and but what I know about him is that he's a perfectionist. Really? But he's a perfectionist.
He does all his own stunts, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does all his stunts, but he's a perfectionist on his craft, and I think that is something that we share, that he loves doing things better because that is what she loves. That is what he loves.
That's where he finds peace.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's not about pretending or about like, okay, well, if I do this better, I'm gonna get more money, or I'm gonna do this or stuff like that. It's just like a journey, like a personal journey of not only perfection but just beauty, on what you do, that he does really well, and he's doing now a movie that he's probably gonna win an Oscar. So yeah, it's a pretty cool guy.
Sick. Look, I've had way more of our time, but you've been so generous. But mate,
No worries.
one of the best conversations I've ever had on creativity.
Thank you.
Mate,
Thank you so much, man.
I love that, man. Like,
Thank you.
We covered so much. So
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you. Like, it's an absolute.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you were loving the episode. I'd appreciate a really small yet significant favor, por favor. Please, may you click the subscribe button, get in the comments, tell me what you think about the episode, tell me what you think we did on the show. It may not seem much, but it really helps us grow and helps us get bigger guests. Thank you so much.